Do you respect Putin?
I do respect him.
Do you? Why?
Well, I respect a lot of people, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get along with them.
Trump trusted Putin's words, but that trust was shattered just days later. After a supposed ceasefire agreement, Russia launched a brutal attack on Odessa, targeting civilians and destroying homes. This mistake shows just how foolish it is to trust Putin. Russia never wanted peace. They wanted to keep fighting. How is Trump going to take it? As a betrayal or an insult to his pride or a declaration for World War III?
I will prevent, and very easily, World War III, very easily.
In this video, we're breaking down the failed ceasefire, the consequences of trusting Putin, and what needs to happen next. Let's dive in. Last time Zelensky asked for support from Trump in terms of fighting against Russia, but the U.S. president turned him down, and its results for Ukraine were not so good. Russia did not stop and even made more massive attacks than before. Here's a clip showing the damage. The explosion was so strong that people felt the ground shake miles away. Zelensky shared more details about the attack on social media. Starting in the evening, Russia attacked many parts of Ukraine with over 200 strike drones and decoy drones. They also used guided bombs. Odessa, Zaporizhia, Sumy, Kyiv, and Chernihiv were hit. In Odessa, fires broke out in shopping malls, stores were damaged, and a home was struck. 3 children were hurt. In another region, 6 people were injured, including a 4-year-old child. Homes and cars were also damaged. The only way to stop this terror is to put more pressure on Russia. Stronger sanctions and more defense support are needed. Ukraine expects real action from the US, Europe, and other allies. That's the only way diplomacy can work. Russia doesn't understand kindness. It only responds to force. I don't see what Russia gains from hitting civilian buildings. The only reason that makes sense is that they want to scare Ukrainians into giving up. Russia claims the attack didn't break any ceasefire deal. Russian officials say Putin only agreed to stop hitting energy targets. But the US insists Putin agreed to stop attacking both energy and infrastructure. The confusion comes from the official statements. The US statement said the leaders agreed that peace would start with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire. Russia's version said Trump proposed a 30-day break in attacks on energy sites, and Putin agreed. See the difference? The US said energy and infrastructure, but Russia only mentioned energy. This was brought up on Fox News when Steve Witkoff, the chief negotiator of this deal, was interviewed. After the Odessa attack, the Kremlin responded. According to Russian media, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov insisted that Putin's order to stop attacks on energy sites still stands. He stressed that the 30-day deal only covers energy targets. So, either someone is lying or there was a misunderstanding. My guess? Russia kept the wording vague on purpose. This way, they can keep attacking while claiming they never broke the deal. Russia has done this before. They always break ceasefires. Before the Odessa attack, Trump's team said they trusted Putin. Now that they've seen what happened, they should realize Putin does not want peace. I thought US policy was trust but verify. That's what Trump used to say. But now, the top US negotiator is saying he takes Putin at his word. This is so naive that even the Russian media is making fun of him. Russia is openly claiming they shot down 7 drones. Yet last night's attack proves they're still hitting civilian sites. They say they want peace, but their actions say otherwise. They are playing the US for fools, and we keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. Russia didn't want to outright reject the ceasefire. If they did, the world would know they're blocking peace. That's why they're dragging out negotiations. Ukraine agreed to the ceasefire with no conditions, but Russia is adding demands that Ukraine can't accept. Putin says he will only agree to a ceasefire if Ukraine stops receiving weapons and intelligence from allies. He wants Ukraine to be defenseless so he can come back later and take over. These demands are hypocritical. Russia doesn't mention all the weapons they're getting from Iran and North Korea. In fact, today, Russia's defense minister is in North Korea asking for more weapons and troops. Russia wants all the help it can get while making sure Ukraine has none. Hopefully, the US sees these attacks and realizes that Russia doesn't want peace. They want Ukraine to surrender. But there is some good news. Trump and Zelensky spoke on the phone. Zelensky asked for more air defense systems. Trump agreed, sort of. He said the US will send them, but they might come from Europe. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. Hopefully, this means the U.S. will send defense systems already stationed in Europe, not those owned by European countries. European nations are already increasing their aid. The U.S. stepping up would be a big help. In other news, Trump is taking action against the BRICS alliance. This group includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE. This won't be a military war. It will be a trade war. Trump has announced a 100% tariff on all goods from BRICS countries. His reason? BRICS is considering removing the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. That would weaken the U.S. economy and its global power. If tensions keep rising, the global economy could be in trouble as these nations clash. To understand why Trump is doing this, we need to look at what BRICS is and why it exists. Originally, it was just Brazil, Russia, India, and China. They wanted an alternative to Western economic power. South Africa joined later, and now more countries are coming in. Their goal is to trade more with each other and reshape the global economy. Together, BRICS nations make up 35% of global GDP. The G7 only has 30%. That's why Trump sees them as a threat. BRICS also created their own bank, the New Development Bank, to compete with the IMF and World Bank. This is about power. Whoever controls financial systems controls influence. BRICS is working to shift that influence away from the West. One major step is de-dollarization. BRICS wants to reduce the use of the U.S. dollar in trade. Right now, 58% of global foreign exchange reserves are in dollars. Key commodities like oil are bought with dollars. BRICS wants to change that. Historically, world reserve currencies shift over time. After World War I, Britain's economy weakened and gold reserves moved to the U.S. By the end of World War II, the U.S. dollar was dominant. In 1971, Nixon removed the gold standard, making the dollar backed only by U.S. government credit. Now, for the first time, a strong group of nations is actively working to replace it. Trump sees this as a direct threat. He posted online that if BRICS creates its own currency or shifts to another reserve currency, he will impose 100% tariffs on all BRICS nations. This isn't Trump's first trade war. During his first term, he fought China with tariffs. Now he's preparing for another fight. BRICS members are already acting. Russia is moving to trade in rubles and gold. China is pushing the yuan in trade deals. They are even creating a digital currency to bypass the dollar. BRICS is also challenging the IMF and World Bank. Russia's finance minister recently called for alternatives to these institutions. Their bank, the NDB, isn't as strong as the IMF yet, but it could grow. All of this is why Trump is taking action now. He wants to stop BRICS before they get too powerful. Whether his strategy works or leads to more conflict remains to be seen. The alliance isn't fully united. China and Russia push hardest for a new financial order, but India and Brazil take a more balanced approach. India has close ties with the U.S. and sees BRICS as a way to stay neutral. Still, BRICS is making moves. Talks about a gold-backed digital currency are happening. China and Russia are using BRICS to further their own goals. China to spread the yuan, Russia to dodge sanctions. Trump sees this and is acting fast. A 100% tariff is no small thing. If a Chinese laptop costs $1,000, the importer will have to pay another $1,000 in tariffs, doubling the price. Trump believes tariffs protect American jobs. By making foreign goods expensive, he hopes people will buy American products instead. This could also reduce the trade deficit with BRICS, which was over $300 billion in 2023. In the end, Trump's tariffs are not just about money. They're about power. He wants to weaken BRICS before they weaken the U.S. Whether this will work or lead to a deeper economic fight is something the world will soon find out.